The complete works of Swami Vivekananda, Karma Yoga, Chapter 1, Karma Yoga and its effect on the character, Part 2. Karma and its effect on the character is the most tremendous power that man has to deal with. Man is, as it were, a center and is attracting all the powers of the universe towards himself. And in this center, he is fusing them all in again, sending them off in a big current. Such a center is the real man, the Almighty, the Omniscient, and he draws the whole universe towards him. Good and bad, misery and happiness, all are running towards him and clinging round him. And out of them he fashions the mighty stream of tendency called character and throws it outwards. As he has the power of drawing in anything, so he has the power of throwing it out. All the actions that we see in the world, all the movements of human society, all the works that we have around us are simply the display of thought. All the works that we have around us, the manifestation of the will of man. Machines or instruments, cities, ships, or men of war, all these are simply the manifestation of the will of man. And this will is caused by character, and character is manufactured by karma. And is karma, so is the manifestation of the will. The men of mighty will the world has produced have all been tremendous workers, gigantic souls, with wills powerful enough to overturn worlds. Wills they got by persistent work through ages and ages. Such a gigantic will as that of a Buddha or a Jesus cannot be obtained in one life, for we know who their fathers were. It is not known that their fathers ever spoke a word for the good of mankind. Millions and millions of carpenters like Joseph had gone. Billions are still living. Millions and millions of petty kings like Buddha's father had been in the world, if it was only a case of hereditary transmission. How do you account for this petty prince, who was not perhaps obeyed by his own servants, producing this son whom half a world worships? How do you explain the gulf between the carpenter and his son, whom millions of human beings worship as God? It cannot be solved by the theory of heredity. The gigantic will which Buddha and Jesus threw out over the world, whence did it come? Whence did this accumulation of power? It must have been something through the ages and ages, continuously growing bigger and bigger, until it burst on society in a Buddha or a Jesus, even rolling down to the present day. All this is determined by karma, work. No one can get anything unless he earns it. This is an eternal law. We may sometimes think it not so, but in the long run, we become convinced of it. A man may struggle all his life for riches, he may cheat thousands, but he finds at last that he did not deserve to become rich, and his life becomes a trouble and a nuisance to him. We may go on accumulating things for our physical enjoyment, but only what we earn is really ours. A fool may buy all the books in the world, but they will be in his library. But he will be able to read only those which he deserves to. And this deserving is produced by karma. Our karma determines what we deserve and what we assimilate. We are responsible for what we are and whatever we wish ourselves to be. We have the power to make ourselves. If what we are now has been the result of our own past actions, it certainly follows that whatever we wish to be in the future can be produced by our own present actions. So we have to know how to act. You will say, what is the use of learning how to work? Everyone works in some way or the other in this world. But there is such a thing as frittering away our energies. With regard to Karma Yoga, the Gita says that it is doing work with cleverness and as a science. By knowing how to work, one can obtain the greatest results. You must remember that all work is simply to bring out the power of the mind, which is already there, to wake up the soul. The power is inside every man. So, knowing the different works, like the blows, to bring them out, to cause these giants to wake up.